Tesla has just lost nearly everything, and hardly anyone thought it would fall apart this quickly. In less than 90 days, Elon Musk's electric car company has crumbled. Tesla's stock has fallen by more than 53%, wiping out hundreds of billions in company value. At the same time, Tesla's sales in Europe have dropped sharply by around 70%, setting off serious concerns within the company and causing ripples across Wall Street. But this disaster didn't appear out of nowhere. It was Europe's direct response, a clear reaction against Donald Trump's harsh trade tariffs, which have pushed global trade relationships to their breaking point. Tesla, unfortunately, ended up being the first major American business to take the hit. What began as a political conflict has now turned into Tesla's most serious crisis to date. So how did things fall apart so quickly? Why are investors abandoning ship? And is this the moment Tesla's seemingly unstoppable rise finally comes crashing down? Let's look at what truly went wrong. Not long ago, Europe was one of Tesla's key and most successful regions for electric vehicles. From 2018 through 2022, Tesla was ahead in countries like Germany, France, and the Netherlands. Customers appreciated the sleek design, cutting-edge technology, and Elon Musk's bold public image. Tesla looked unstoppable. But that all changed very quickly at the beginning of 2025. From January to March, Tesla's vehicle sales across Europe dropped sharply. Based on figures from Eurostat and confirmed by national car registration offices, Tesla's total deliveries in the EU fell by over 70% compared to the same period last year. In Germany, Tesla's largest European market, sales plummeted by over 73%. France experienced a 66% drop. And in Italy, Tesla's sales declined by more than 70% as well. This wasn't a slow fall, it was a sudden market collapse within just a few months. Several factors contributed to this crash, but the main issue was clear: European customers turned away from Tesla. According to surveys by European Auto Watch, over 60% of Tesla's former buyers said they stopped purchasing the cars due to poor brand reputation and a growing lack of trust. Prices went up because of Trump's trade tariffs, and Elon Musk's political opinions only made things worse. More and more Europeans became unhappy with American economic policies. At the same time, European car brands like Volkswagen, Renault, and Peugeot began stepping up their game in the EV sector, lowering prices and increasing production. Chinese companies like BYD and NIO also entered the market more aggressively, offering cheaper alternatives without all the controversy. By the end of March, Tesla's share of the European EV market had fallen below 5%, the lowest it had been in over 6 years. A company once celebrated as the future of cars had suddenly become an outsider in a region it once dominated. But the damage wasn't just limited to poor sales. The European collapse triggered a chain reaction that struck Wall Street hard. The steep fall in Tesla's overseas sales was the initial trigger. What followed was a full-blown financial crisis. By March 31st, Tesla's stock had dropped by 53% from its high in January. Wall Street traders, major banks, and longtime shareholders were stunned as billions in market value vanished. The numbers were staggering. On January 1, 2025, Tesla was valued at around $770 billion. By the end of March, that number had dropped to just above $360 billion. That's over $400 billion gone in only 3 months. This wasn't a minor correction. It was a huge crash that wiped out years of growth. It wasn't caused by just one issue. It was a combination of serious problems. First, the shocking drop in European sales crushed investor confidence in Tesla's growth potential. Second, Tesla's ties to Trump's tariffs, which raised costs for materials and production, created concerns about shrinking profit margins. Third, Elon Musk's increasingly controversial political remarks and unpredictable behavior scared off both customers and investors. Major investment firms began to back away. Hedge funds sold off millions of shares. Tesla's credit rating was downgraded by 2 leading agencies. Analysts across the financial world began to lower their expectations for Tesla, with many now saying the company's glory days were likely behind it. By late March, panic selling led to forced liquidations due to margin calls and automatic trading systems, which made the crash even worse. Small investors, many of whom believed Tesla was a once-in-a-generation company, watched their savings vanish. The tech world's favorite stock had turned into a financial nightmare. And Elon Musk, the central figure in this crisis, wasn't helping. In fact, his actions were making things even more unstable. While Tesla's business was sinking and the stock was diving, Musk continued to stir controversy. Throughout January, February, and March 2025, Musk's public comments and political involvement were a major reason for Tesla's image crash in Europe. It started with Musk's vocal support for Donald Trump's new tariffs on goods from Europe and China. Musk took to social media several times to defend the tariffs, claiming they were key to protecting American innovation. These statements caused instant backlash in Europe, where many people already viewed Trump's trade policies as unfair, and things got even worse. Musk began making aggressive remarks about European leaders, calling them things like bureaucratic parasites and archenemies of progress. In one American interview, he said Europe's environmental laws were designed to hurt Tesla. European media outlets quickly picked this up, running daily stories showing Musk as out of touch, reckless, and disrespectful. The public responded almost immediately. In Germany, people gathered outside Tesla's Giga Berlin factory, protesting what they described as Musk's poor treatment of workers and local laws. In France, consumer organizations called for a boycott of Tesla. Social media influencers urged people to buy local and stop supporting Musk's brand. The damage to Tesla's image wasn't just in Europe either. Back in the United States, even government officials began to express doubts about Tesla's future. On March 25th, the U.S. Commerce Secretary held a press conference saying, We are concerned about the risks Tesla's leadership poses to American investors and the overall health of our economy. She listed Tesla's vulnerability to global tariffs, falling European sales, and Musk's unstable public actions as major threats. This statement stunned financial markets. It marked the first time a top U.S. official had publicly said that a major American tech company might pose a danger to investors. Within hours of the announcement, Tesla's stock dropped another 6%. Major investors increased their sell-offs, and analysts lowered their ratings once again. The message was clear. Tesla was no longer viewed as a reliable tech leader. Instead, it was now seen as a potential liability. This also created new fears. If the government no longer had faith in Tesla, what would that mean for future deals, approvals, and support from regulators? But this was just the beginning of a much bigger breakdown. As investors fled and European customers backed away, a wider crisis began to form. One involving world governments, financial markets, and the future of the electric vehicle industry itself. It all began on January 3, 2025, when President Donald Trump signed a broad executive order. This order introduced steep new tariffs on imports from other countries, aimed at protecting U.S. manufacturing. The targets included the European Union, China, and Canada. Trump claimed the move was to defend American jobs and stop unfair trade practices, but the details told a different story. Tesla was going to be hurt the most. The new rules raised the costs of parts and materials used in building electric vehicles, especially the ones Tesla relies on. Lithium batteries, cobalt, nickel, and steel suddenly became much more expensive, with tariffs reaching as high as 35%. European automakers also felt the impact, but Tesla suffered the most. The company has always depended on global suppliers to keep car prices reasonable. These new tariffs pushed Tesla's business model into serious trouble. At the signing event, Trump used strong words, saying he was protecting American workers from foreign threats. But in reality, Tesla found itself stuck in a political firestorm. Musk's plan to work with international suppliers and build factories overseas was now falling apart. The financial blow was immediate. Tesla's production costs spiked, forcing the company to choose between absorbing the losses or raising car prices. Neither option was good, especially with competition heating up. And as the trade war escalated, Asia jumped in. China and South Korea, two of Tesla's biggest markets and production partners, responded fast. China was first. Already upset with Trump's aggressive trade moves and Musk's support of them, China hit back with new tariffs on U.S.-made electric vehicles and parts. These tariffs, ranging from 15% to 30%, made it harder for Tesla to sell in China. On top of that, Chinese authorities began new inspections at Tesla's Shanghai factory, looking into environmental compliance and labor practices. These investigations slowed production and made operations more expensive. But China didn't stop there. State-controlled media began airing stories raising concerns about how Tesla handled customer data and car software security. These reports planted doubt in the minds of Chinese buyers and hinted that Tesla couldn't be fully trusted. Over time, consumer trust in Tesla in China started to shrink. South Korea also followed, introducing new regulations and taxes on U.S. electric vehicles, dealing another blow to Tesla's plans in Asia. And just like that, two of Tesla's largest overseas markets began to close their doors. This mix of political backlash, falling customer confidence, and rising expenses turned into a perfect storm. Tesla wasn't just dealing with a bad quarter. It was now facing a worldwide crisis that could change its future forever. Let me know if you'd like a thumbnail text or a visual breakdown next.